Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and in today's video, we're just doing a kind of chilled video. It's a news update for Five Nights at Freddy's. Now obviously, a lot of you guys are fans of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. I certainly enjoy the games myself, and it was of course today the 5th anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's, 5 years since the original FNAF game launched on PC all those years back. And to celebrate this, of course, we've had a few teasers from Scott Cawthon for new Five Nights at Freddy's titles in production currently. Now there's not too much to go on with these teasers, but I did think it would be interesting to take a look at them in a quick video tonight, just kind of doing it on the fly, and thought I'd put something together for you guys just to report the news. So with all that being said, let's take a look at the teasers that did come out today. Now over at the FNAF World website, which is FNAFworld.com, we had this teaser here. As you can see, it appears to be a black screen with the words 58 on there. Now if you guys have played FNAF World, you'll know that there's a minigame added called FNAF 57 Freddy in Space, and this was a sort of a side-scroller minigame set in space where it was kind of like a shoot-'em-up sort of side-scroller. It was a bit silly, it was a bit of fun, and it was of course part of the craziness that was FNAF World, a game that a lot of the fans, myself included, didn't really think too much to. I always thought that game was a bit weird and a bit too sort of, I don't know, a bit too off kilter for its own good. It was very removed from the usual horror setting that we get with Five Nights at Freddy's, that certainly is what I like for Series 4. So it's very likely that this teaser is for a mini-game of some kind, perhaps another update for FNAF World, just another fun little mini-game that's going to be added in there like the Freddy in Space one, or it could be a new project like FNAF World, a sort of silly spin-off from the series that Scott's developing for a bit of fun. I'm not entirely sure. However, if we brighten this image, we actually get some interesting little quotations, which are obviously Scott Cawthon sort of poking fun at the fanbase and what he feels their reaction probably will be. The first one is from FNAF Fan, and it says, "Probably the worst idea he's ever had." Next we have one from Rando Person, and that says, "It's like he doesn't even care anymore." The next one is from Reddit User, and it says, "Stopped caring after Dream Theory." After that we have FNAF Fan saying, "Are we a joke to you?" And finally, Concerned Citizen says, 5 years for this? So yeah, it certainly seems like he's sort of getting in there quickly to ward off all the comments he believes he might get when he unveils this game. But you know, especially if it's a free-to-play game, I believe FNAF World was free-to-play, I could be wrong there, but I think it was from what I remember. You know, if it is free-to-play and it's just a game he's doing for fun because he wants to, then surely it's a good thing for FNAF fans, right? We don't have anything more to go on from this teaser other than the 58 and the few quotations around it, so for now we'll leave it there and head on to scottgames.com, where we have a more substantial teaser for the next big FNAF game. Now as you can see in this picture guys, we have a lovely piece of artwork here, and we have the 4 FNAF main characters on there. Although they don't all look like their original designs, they look more kind of like stylized than usual, but we have Chica on the end, and then moving over next we have Freddy, and then it seems like we might have sort of Bonnie and then Foxy, but they look very, very different. Could it be that there's some new characters here, or could it be that they just massively redesigned the original characters for a totally new look in a kind of reboot of sorts? It certainly seems like it's a mall, perhaps a mall from the 1980s, going by all the neon and sort of blue and pink they're using there. Certainly looks like something from, you know, the latest series of Stranger Things or something, doesn't it? And then of course in the corners you can see that there's both a laser tag, which is again something very popular from the 1980s, and a Fazbear pizza, which of course was the setting from the original game. But what's more interesting is we seem to have a big sort of audience in front of these mascots as they play their stage show, and these seem to be kids sort of cheering for their favourite FNAF mascots. So I don't know if this perhaps is going to be a brand new horror title in the FNAF series, maybe something set in a mall where we have to explore the mall, perhaps free roam. Of course a lot of the FNAF fan games have been free roam, but none of the mainline titles have been yet. So it would be cool if we actually had a sort of 3D free roam game made, where we actually got to explore like an abandoned mall, perhaps with these mascots hunting you. That would be really cool. You can see at the bottom of this image guys as well, it says 2020, so this is a game for next year, perhaps the next mainline game from Scott Cawthon himself. So that's pretty exciting, meaning we might get a big mainline FNAF game next year. However, there are more secrets to be discovered with this image. The source code for the image itself has a little dialogue between 2 characters, and this says, "Stay the course. I will. Focus on my voice. I will. Don't let anyone lead you astray. I won't. Have you selected one? I have. So we can see this seems to be a conversation, guys. I don't know who between, but it seems to be a conversation between somebody who is giving commands and somebody who is receiving those commands and then acting them out. So this could be somebody in control of everything commanding an animatronic, kind of like we had William Afton commanding the animatronics in the originals and sort of using the kids' souls in the animatronics. It could be William Afton, although it seems unlikely after his fate in FNAF 6. Unless this is of course a prequel to FNAF 6 giving us more William Afton backstory. Or of course this could be a reboot of sorts, which then means William Afton would of course be revived and his story would start anew. Either way, it seems to take place in a mall of some kind, and this may translate to the gameplay itself when the game comes out. Now finally guys, we had a Steam post from Scott Cawthon himself, which is giving us an update on all the projects he's currently working on, and this has got some exciting information and some concrete news on many titles, including the movie in production. So what I'm going to do guys is just read you word for word what that post says. Upcoming projects Megafred, updated 8th of the 8th 19, from Scott. Five Nights at Freddy's the movie. Progress is being made, stay tuned, ETA 2021. Game projects, FNAF VR, done. FNAF AR, 75% complete. The team at Looking Glass is doing an amazing job, the graphics look fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing how the finished product comes together. ETA, October 2019. FNAF Into Madness, currently on hold. This game was originally going to be a project that I worked on myself, but now it looks like it might be a project for Steelwool, 2021 maybe. Right now, however, I'm working on 58. Console ports, 70% complete. I'm working closely with the people at Click Team to create new, improved HD ports of all of the original games. They will be released on Android, iOS, Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. ETA? Be looking for most of these before the end of 2020. AAA game, 0% complete. A deal has been signed with Universal to create a AAA multiplayer game. They've had a few setbacks getting started, but hopefully we will get to work on that soon. There were some really cool ideas for it. ETA 2021. New book series, done and awaiting publication. Some of these are pretty disturbing. Spring 2020. Question marks, TBA. The second game from Steelwool, ETA 2020. So there you go guys, that is some exciting news from Scott himself dropped on the Steam update page. And what's really cool about this guys is that if you look through this post, you'll actually notice that there are at least 2 game projects scheduled to come out next year, as well as the start of a new book series launching too. And we're even getting the console ports for those of you without PCs to play in 2020 as well. So there's a ton of FNAF stuff coming out in 2020 next year. The AAA game, it seems, is a multiplayer only game, and I guess that probably ties into the movie that they're working on currently, as it is a deal signed with Universal, and of course Universal make the films and I believe are the studio helping making the FNAF film as well. So it seems that this AAA game will tie into the movie and release alongside it. The other game we're getting next year seems to be from Steelwool, who produced the fantastic FNAF Help Wanted VR game. I'm very excited for this. Is it another VR game? Who knows? It's certainly from Steelwool, and now they've had that experience working on Help Wanted, they obviously know the franchise inside out now, and because of that, I think this is one of the games I'm most excited for coming up. In fact, I think this TBA game with the question marks may be the game teased in this image here, because it's also a 2020 release and it seems like a big deal, like a big title. So it seems like this image we looked at earlier in the video is indeed the new project from Steelwool Studios. Of course, we also had a bit of word from FNAF Into Madness. That was meant to be the game Scott was making himself. Again, it seems he has a lot of faith in Steelwool Studios, as he is now getting them to probably help him out with this game, which means that that talented studio is going to be overwhelmed with FNAF projects in the coming future. And perhaps most exciting of all, if you can't wait for some more FNAF content, there is a FNAF AR game, I believe for mobiles, coming out and tablets, which is of course going to be augmented reality, where you can basically walk around your own home and sort of see the animatronics in real life. But that game, while a bit kind of gimmicky, I think is going to be a lot of fun to play around with, and it does come out hopefully in October 2019, so stay tuned for that. If you want a kind of a little mini game to play around with while we wait for the proper sort of mainline FNAF games, that is going to be coming out this year, which again is pretty darn exciting. So with that said guys, we have wrapped up the news from the FNAF birthday. Happy birthday to FNAF. I have started to really get into it on the channel this year, of course with VR game. We did a lot of coverage for that. We did some theories, secret videos, so go and check those out if you're new to my channel checking out this video and you want to see my coverage of that game. I did quite a few detailed videos on that one, but we will be covering some of these new games as they come out. I definitely think that's a good idea. You guys seem to really enjoy me making videos to do with Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't tend to do the mods and the fan games as much, but I like to dip my toe in because it is a franchise that I've enjoyed playing over the years, so it's nice to cover it here once in a while. With that said guys, if you have enjoyed this video, thank you for watching today. Remember to give this video a like, leave me a comment down below, and of course subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one, and I will see you all on the next one.